What's up, everybody? We back, man. Yeah, we finishing up this battle royale. Hey, man. I know usually we over here talking about some motivation and whatnot. You know, we usually keep it uplifting, keep our messages uplifting and whatnot. But today we got some good news. That's bad news, but it's good news for us. I don't what is it? I don't subject to the name of a James Gunn hater or nothing, but we hate James Gunn. Me and my hitters hate James Gunn. No, but for real though, I see some stuff. Don't get me wrong. Don't think it's super official yet. I don't think it's even an official source, but there is some website like comic news or something like that. I'm not even finna bring it up, but I remember distinctively it's comic something. They reported today that once WB gets sold, James Gunn is out. Now, if you check out one of my previous videos, I already basically, what's that word? I already concluded that might be what's going on. However, it just feels so good to see an article being written basically with the thesis being that's gonna be what's going on. Many people have reported on it already. It's kind of moving around the circuit. But that's a big box. See what we got. This the first box I did like that. They ain't have nothing in there for me. No loot whatsoever. Oh, come on. Who is this? I need you out of here. It's not me. It's gonna be you. There we go. Had to get them up out of here. But yeah, man. Back to topic, man. So James Gunn. Yeah, a couple people have reported on this and kind of said their piece. But all in all, I'm just seeing nothing but a lot of positivity around the fact that James Gunn could be getting fired. And it's crazy to say that and feel like that, I know. Because, you don't, like, as a person, you don't want to wish ill will on somebody. You don't want somebody to lose their job. I never wanted James Gunn to lose his job. I just never wanted him to get that job. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think that was for him. And he's been proving himself that it really shouldn't be for him, because he's trying to take this show in a direction that nobody ever asked for. Granted, I get it. People weren't on board with Superman being, darker toned and basically anti-happy-go-lucky Superman, but I feel like that version of him was just given a real human and grounded tone for Superman at that time. The 2000s, the 2010s, that was an era where things were dreary and people just weren't focusing on that type of an aspect. Like, we were just coming off the heels of Spider-Man being like one of the most successful superhero franchises and the X-Men. So it's just like, those adaptations were kind of dark and dreary and real, very, very real, grounded adaptations. They weren't like the Avengers. So I believe Zack Snyder was just trying to give us something in that vein, but he was trying to give us something in that vein while not totally copying the Marvel formula, and just giving us that grounded version. And he took it a step further by giving us a darker Superman I don't know why my game is glitching, because it wasn't glitching while I was playing. So I'm sorry that this is happening. I don't know what's going on, because this is some good footage. I was going crazy with my chainsaw right here. Anyways, thanks for those of y'all that are actually staying with me. Appreciate it. But yeah, he went a step further and basically was giving us that Injustice League version of everybody, which to this day I'm a down the hill of saying I wish we could have got that version of him, because that Injustice topic and that plot line was just, as a fan that grew up watching DC animated series and just everything DC, it was very cool to see the Injustice version come to life, because one of the coolest things to see as a kid was when they went into the alternate dimension and they fought the evil Superman, or the Superman that went a little bit too power hungry, and turned into a dictator type guy, and then the actual good superheroes, good version of superheroes had to come in and basically clean that world up. It was cool to see those because it was almost like a scary movie version of our superheroes. So I was along for the ride, but as you can see, everybody didn't grow up with that visual of the Justice League. Everybody didn't grow up with that time, so therefore that message and that image was probably not ingrained in their head. But I if you watching this, I would task you to go watch the Justice League Unlimited animated series and go to the episode where it was an alternate Justice League universe where everybody was basically reversed and they had Owlman for Batman. Go to that, and it was Johnny Quick for Flash. Go to that episode in that 2-episode, 3-episode, 4-episode series and just check it out and come back and tell me what you think about it, because that right there, seeing that as like a 10 to 15, seeing that as a 10 to 15 year old kid, maybe I was like 8 when it dropped, seeing that growing up helped me understand immediately the direction that James Gunn was going into. So I'm not offended by it. So, James Gunn, see you later, bud. But I can smell the food cooking and know what it is before it gets here. You are making a Supergirl that is going to be better than the Superman movie that you put out, which is awesome. But at the same time, you should have just led with Supergirl and had Superman introduced in her movie, because there was no point to make Superman a weak SOB for his whole entire movie. There was no reason to do that. But yeah, anyways, catch up with me tomorrow, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace out.